You're listening to Spreaker Web Radio.
It's showtime, and you're listening to Florida Real Estate Radio, where you'll hear about what's relevant and where to find opportunities and solutions in Florida real estate. Right now, live in studio, here's your host, Brian Heckman.
Well, hi, I'm Brian Heckman, coming to you today from sunny and warm Tampa, and I'm so glad you're here with us. We actually brought in one of my favorite personalities in real estate to work with, Darla Wright, who is a veteran real estate agent with Future Home Realty. She's going to share with you some information on listings and why list, how to most effectively and successfully set yourself up to list your property for sale, and then also some interesting aspects and tips on negotiating short sales, both from the buyer and the seller standpoint. So, Darla, welcome to the show.
Hey, Brian. Thanks for having me.
So glad that we can make it work out. Why don't we do this? Why don't we start by briefly sharing how and when you got into real estate and why you're still a real estate agent today, and why clients would use you versus another agent.
Well, it started about 15 years ago. My ex-husband actually was a mortgage broker, and he would come home and talk about all these deals that would die, and it would make me crazy. And I'm like, I could do this. So I ended up going to school, and I've been doing real estate for about 15 years and absolutely love it. It's my passion. And I really see a need for helping people as far as, especially in this market with, the way the market's going and the short sales and stuff. And I just love what I do.
Awesome. So that's been all 15 years in this market, Tampa Bay market, right?
That's correct. Tampa Bay area.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, great background information. So let's kind of dive in here. So what would you tell a potential seller about listing their home in this market?
Well, the market's really crazy right now. The inventory is very down. Really needs to be priced right and show well. A property needs to be clean, possibly staged, and available to show. It's very important.
Do you see a lot of times where people come in and it's just crazy to me, but are they not ready? Are they coming in where their house is a mess? And
oh, absolutely. You see that a lot, and I think properties that are well taken care of sell quicker, sell a lot faster, and properties that are available to be shown. You have a lot of times there's not a lockbox on the house, or you need a week notice, a few days, and it's just very hard to sell a property that way.
So what would you, somebody moving, that can be a kind of a frantic time, putting, boxes together and, getting stuff ready to get out. What does that look like for a potential seller? You go meet with them and say, great, I want to list your house. Here's the deal. Do you give them next steps, or how does that really work?
Well, typically when I get into a house, I walk through it and I give them a list of things that need to be done, on a shoestring budget. If it's boxing up all the extra stuff, put it in the garage, don't have it sitting in your living room all over your kitchen counters. And just box up everything, because they are going to be moving. The market's very good. Things are selling quickly, and they have to be ready to go.
And how fast? How fast are you seeing things sell right now? You say really quickly. What does that mean?
Wow. I have listings that, in fact, I have one today. The average day on the market in this subdivision is 0.
Wow.
So, things sell quickly. That you're getting into multiple offer situations. And the terms, there's a lot of cash buyers out there, a lot of investors out there buying properties, and the average person that has to get a mortgage and stuff have to compete with these people.
Right.
So they really need to be, on top of everything when the listings do come in, and be very aggressive.
So it's a standpoint where when you're ready to sell your house, you need to be ready to rock and roll and move in 30, 45 days?
Yes, and sometimes sooner. Absolutely.
What about, so we've gone through a big conversion here where everyone thinks it's a buyer's market, and
no, that's changed. We're definitely into a seller's. We're getting in multiple offer situations. Listings, the inventory is very low, and houses are selling. A lot of investors are coming in, buying these properties and paying cash for them with no inspections, and they're putting tenants in them.
Right.
And we're competing against that. So, typically they're looking at 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and, they're not lasting at all. I had one listing, it was on the market for less than a day. I had 18 offers, and no one even actually looked at the property.
Like, what price range is that?
That was about $100,000 in Oldsmar. And the house needed a lot of work. It had needed a roof. The pool was just totally shot. Needed a lot of work, and we ended up getting way over asking price on it.
That's what I was going to ask. So it came in 18 offers, and you ended up getting higher than what they were actually looking for.
No inspections, everything, waiting, doing the waiting game, everything. Yeah.
So what do you tell somebody that that is listing their house for? It's a hot market, so people hear stuff like this. There was 18 offers, they got higher than asking. What do you tell the person that you go in, you say, I should list your house for X, and they say, I think we should do it for X plus 20,000, 10,000?
Well, it's funny you say that. Is a lot of times, especially in this market right now, I am pricing the houses a little bit higher than I think it might sell for, just because of what's happening. So yes, some sellers are getting more than probably the market could handle, but because we are getting cash buyers. So that is happening.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing if they want to get more, because there might be, I guess at some point there's a breaking point to where no one's going to look at the house because it's priced too high, of course.
And you really have to keep track of your listings and the showings and everything. For instance, if it has no activity whatsoever within the first 2 weeks, you're absolutely priced too high. And then you have to be a little bit more aggressive and reduce it as needed. But right now things are going pretty quickly.
And that's an interesting topic. So basically, if you put a house in the market, that weekend should be pretty much a flurry of activity. I mean, we're talking about, early February. It's going to be a flurry of activity if it's priced right. That's correct. Is what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. And that's what I try to tell the sellers also, to be ready, have the house ready. And another thing with short sales, one huge thing that I always recommend is, if you have to do a short sale on the property, have your paperwork ready. I try not to input anything until you get all the paperwork ready needed from the seller. There's bank packages. Every bank is a little bit different. They have their certain documents that they want filled out, and have them ready for both parties to sign, because the buyer does have to sign on some of those documents. And because that can really delay the whole process weeks, could be months,
right?
Waiting for the documents, because the sellers are always, ready to go. But then when you start asking them for, this document, that document, it just takes longer for them.
Right.
The urgency is not there as much, seems like. So I think for short sales, having your documentation is very, very important.
And when you say documentation, you mean on the people that are selling their house, the short sale, have to go through the whole financial process, just like they apply for a mortgage loan.
Absolutely.
They've got to go apply for the short sale.
Yes. And, if there's incentive regarding if that's available for them too.
And by that you mean, can you clarify a little bit on that?
Basically, a lot of banks will offer a $3,000 moving assistance, and everyone's a little bit different. Credit unions aren't doing it, so having all your documentation, your financials is very important.
And just to be clear on that, what you're saying is, because some people don't know this, people that are moving and that need to do a short sale, they're actually getting a check from their bank to short sell their house and get out.
Yes, a lot of times, yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's going on. It's just so many people don't realize, I'd have to, it's that whole thing of I can't imagine I'm going to short sell my house. We weren't raised this way or whatnot. And then you realize, it's a different world, and the banks are literally paying to get you out from underneath an upside down situation.
Right. Well, it helps with moving, and they also want the house not to be totally ripped
destroyed,
apart
right?
And stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Which, how often do you see something like that in a short sale situation? Is it a lot anymore?
Oh gosh, I actually have an offer on a short sale right now, and they went in and took even knobs off the cabinet doors.
Unreal.
They take a lot. They really do. But hopefully, that incentive will cut down a lot of that.
It happens, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So what would you say, other than having paperwork ready, what else would you say as far as important aspects for negotiating short sales?
Oh, gee. Having the contract written the correct way the first time without all the, a lot of investors are not attaching addendums, and the whole waiting game. It can take anywhere from 60 to 90 days. I see contracts and buyers asking for a 30-day close, and that's not going to happen,
Right.
especially in the beginning of a short sale. So, being able to wait, and the terms are very important as far as when it comes to buying a short sale.
Got it. Well, we're going to kind of be running short on time here, but I greatly appreciate you coming in.
Well, I appreciate it. This is fun.
Yeah, we should definitely do it again. We'll have to get on each other's calendars again to do this. So, and really appreciate you offering our listeners some of the expert advice and the experience that you have. So greatly appreciate it. And it's also want thank all of you out there for listening to Florida Real Estate Radio, where you hear about what's relevant and where to find opportunities and solutions in Florida real estate right now. I'm your host, Brian Heckman, here with Darla Wright. Remember that we're all in this together, so let's grow together. Have a great afternoon.